Hello everybody, my name is Marcus and I'm a fibre artist from Scotland. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. On this channel I like to share videos about what I'm working on, and once a month or so I share a roundup video going over everything that I've worked on over the last month and what project I've made. So for the most part that's going to be knitting, crochet and weaving, but I do spin, I do dye. I tend not to share the yarn that I've dyed on this channel. I might start doing that going forward, but I don't want it to feel salesy if I do that, so I don't know. It might happen, it might not. But if you watched my December project roundup video, I made a commitment that I would get my officer sweater finished by the time of the next update. So I spent I spent a lot of January working on that sweater, and I got everything knit up, and I'm so excited, a premonition, I'm so excited to share with you that it's not finished. Yay! So I can't remember, I think the body was knit the last time. I think I was just working on the sleeves at the time, but the sleeves are done. They are knit. They look a little bit weird. So the sleeves, because it's intarsia, the sleeves are knit flat. But you start round at the cuff. But yeah, it's knit flat, so I need to seam them. But this is where my tale of woe begins. So I've seamed the body. I've made this kind of wonky vest. The seaming was actually fine. I don't typically enjoy it, but and I tend to get a bit confused and make a mess of it. But because of the kind of the colour work, makes seaming it super easy. I can't really make a mistake with the seaming. In other areas I definitely can. So you can see this is a front, and the back does come up a bit higher, as it should do for shaping. But if you look on the back, the front actually rolls over onto the back. I've made a mistake. This should be sitting right at the top, so that the seams, the kind of the colour join of the shoulder should sit, you know, they should be matching, they should line up. That's not going to happen if the top of the seam is on the back. It's just not correct. I've definitely made a mistake there. I've misread the pattern. I think that part's going to be an easy fix, because as well, because I seamed the body, that all went seamlessly. But then when I was trying to attach the sleeve, I was quickly realising I have got too much sleeve for the armhole. And I could have fudged it and just kind of, you know, sewed a little bit more sleeve into bits of the armhole, but it would kind of create like a bit too much bulk and kind of, it might puff out a bit. But ultimately, if the sleeve is too big for the armhole, I've made a mistake. And I've been working on this for 6 months. I'm not rushing it at the end. I've taken my time with every other aspect of it. I'm going to take the time at the end and do it properly. Which brings me on to step number 2, issue number 2. It's too damn small. Yeah, there's maybe a few different elements at play here. First one is going to be is that I did not do a gauge swatch. I knit one, it got destroyed by the dog before I could actually pin it out and measure it. And I decided that was fine. Turns out that might not be the case. But I haven't blocked it yet. So the pattern calls, well, for the kind of assembly instructions, the pattern directs you to wash it and block before you seam. Obviously I thought that was an unnecessary step, so I just seamed it. But I'm going to undo that. I'm going to wash it and block it and then see how it's looking size wise. Another major element that's at play is that I've gained a lot of weight in the 6 months that I've been knitting this. So the size that I started working on 6 months ago, it may have fit me at the time, but it really seems like it doesn't fit me now. But I do have options. I'm not giving up, but it has been on a rest. So as I said, I'm going to undo the seams at the side. I'm going to wash it, I'm going to block it and see how we are. If it still looks like it's not going to fit me, I'm not ripping out. There's too much blood, sweat and tears has gone into this to rip it out now. But I could always add in like little panels at the side and see, because of the colour blocking, I think that will actually look quite cool. I would probably do it in the, it's not black, but it's a very, very dark grey. I would probably do the panels in that colour. And I think that would actually look quite good. But I don't know, obviously I would love to not need to do that, but if I need to, I need to. I'm feeling very, I'm a lot calmer about it than I would expect me to be. Sorry, I'm kind of seeing my hair for the first time today. I've been working from home and I just, yeah, it's growing, it's due a cut. But I thought I would be a lot more angry, a lot more upset, a lot more stressed out about this than I am. Because, you know, the 6 months work has gone into this and I was this close to the finish line, and then realised, you maybe didn't start it correctly. But I'm fine with it. I'm just going to do what I can to make it work. But that being said, although I'm not sad about it, I'm not angry about it, but I've totally lost the motivation at the same time. I definitely needed to put it on rest for a couple days just to, yeah, just to remain calm about the situation, I think, more than anything. But I've put that on rest and I've picked up some other projects just to kind of take my mind off it for a while. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Maybe I'm not going to put it out into the universe again this time because that didn't work out so well, but maybe, possibly, next month. I'm not going to say I might have it finished, but I might at least be closer to the finish line than I am just now. So whilst that was on a break, I started two new projects, both of which you may have seen if you've watched my last 2 videos. But the first one I started is the Wee Sheepies cushion by Midge Porter Designs. As I mentioned this previously, this was a kit that I bought in December, and I have made a really good start on it. This is my first little sheep, which has got the nice teal background colour. This is the only one I've stitched the face. Yes, it's wonky. It's, you know, it's a little bit tilted. Its nose and mouth is a little bit not great. I'm fine with it. I think it's quite cute. So I've done 2 of the teal, not stitched this one. This one's face is even wonkier. He's definitely tilting his head looking at something. Yeah. I've got 2 of the purple, again getting wonkier. That's about the same level of wonkiness. And then oh no, that one is actually side on. Okay, yeah. So I kind of changed what I was doing. I think I was misreading the pattern. Shock horror. Yeah, he's nice and, you know, he's got his head straight. He's looking in front of him. He doesn't have a, like, you know, mouth and nose, but that will come. And I love this colour. It's relatively true to colour. It's a bit more, It's a reddy terracotta colour. This lighting, it's maybe pulling a little bit too orange, maybe. It's definitely like burnt orange terracotta, but yeah. So I've got the two of them, and now that I've changed the way I'm doing things, it's definitely looking straight ahead. So I'm enjoying that. I believe there is 9 colours in total. So I've done 2 of each because I'll have one of each colour either side. And yeah, so I'm a third of the way through. I'm really enjoying it so far. I just think it looks so cute. It really, really does. And I've really enjoyed having a crochet project and like using different stitches, because I feel like whenever I crochet, I'm usually just doing one stitch across the entire project. And although I enjoy them, it's really nice having something that there's different stitches going on. I've never done the stitches that are used for the fleece. I can't remember what it's actually called in the pattern, but it's like a cluster of double crochets or treble crochets. The pattern is in UK terms, but I kind of tend to think in US terms, just because, like a lot of people, I learned on the internet, and a lot of the people on the internet use US terms. I'm comfortable using both, but I kind of tend to go to the US terms first in my head. But yeah, so the stitch is like a cluster of double crochets in a way that I've never done it before. So that was interesting. I've learned something new, and I've had fun doing it. I can't wait to make more progress with these. I'm really quite excited for the finished product. But I do think, like, I can't wait to have a cushion made of these. But how cute would a whole blanket of these kind of Technicolor sheep be? That might be something for the future. I don't know, one step at a time. And I haven't actually messed anything up yet, apart from the kind of tilting heads. But that's okay, that's not messed up, they're expressive. Each one has its own personality. So that's my wee sheepies cushion cover. And on to my next project that I've started. If you watched my previous video where I took a look at the projects I want to make over the next year, or at least think about making, you will have seen the kind of idea behind this. But I have started crocheting a shirt for myself, a granny square shirt. It was definitely inspired by how much I was enjoying this. But so this is what I've got so far. Let me get a little bit closer and see if it stops. Yeah. So I've made 8 so far. None of these have, obviously, they've not had their ends woven in, and they've not been washed or blocked. I don't really do that. But I've made 4 different kind of styles of granny square. So I've got one where it's 2 rows of each colour. So it's slow down, one thing at a time, Marcus. And now it's really blowing out. Okay, so I've got 2 rows of one colour, and then I've got 2 rows of the next, and then 2 rows of the first colour. And that's just using the 3, the kind of clusters of 3 double crochets. That's kind of traditional. But then I'm going around the end in black with 2 rows of single crochet, which it will make sense when I get more into the project. But I want black to be the dominant colour, so if everything has a black border, and I'll be sewing it all together with black. And for the collar and the button band of the shirt, I'm going to do that all in black as well. So I'm just going to keep going through that. I have the black border across just so it's black becomes more dominant and white is like accents. So that's the first kind of style that I've done. And then I've done the same again, but in reverse. So I've got 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, and then a black border, but starting with black instead of white. And then I've got 2 that look similar, but it's 1 row of each colour, one starting with white and one starting with black, and all of them with the black border going around. So I've made 2 of each of the different styles, which I think is quite, I don't know, like it didn't take me a huge amount of time, but like that's like a good amount of shirt. I mean, it's not a huge amount, it's not like finished, but you know, I don't think this project will actually take 400 years, like most garment adjacent projects I make do. So the yarn I'm using, you will have seen me use before. It is from Systrena Grena, a kind of, I believe, Danish lifestyle store, but they have a pretty okay craft section. So obviously in black and white. So these are 100% cotton, and they're 4-ply. So the hook I'm using is 3mm, which is because I did try 2.5 and it was a bit too dense, and I did try 3.5 and it was far too loose. As always with me, there's a bit of trial and error, but this time there wasn't too much error. But yeah, so that's kind of given me the fabric that I wanted. It'll be nice and light and flowy, but not like completely see-through either, because I may potentially wear this shirt buttoned up with like nothing underneath if it's very warm, so I don't want to be completely exposed. But even when it's not like crazy temperatures that I feel the need to expose myself slightly, I think it would look really cute just over like a plain white t-shirt or a plain black t-shirt, which is more likely. I don't own any plain white t-shirts because I spill everything, which is why I tend to wear dark clothes all the time, because I can spill whatever I want down them and nobody notices. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. This one is definitely the project I'm most excited about just now, and I think part of that is because of how kind of quick I'm seeing progress, whereas with this, well, not the sleeve, but the whole body, I think because that took me 6 months, whereas I'm seeing progress quick for this, and it's still a garment. I don't know. I'm not following a pattern for this. My plan is to wing it, which, even when I'm following a pattern, sometimes it doesn't go to plan. So that's maybe a bold move for me, but I am quite confident with crochet. I feel more confident in my ability to kind of freestyle things with crochet than I do with knitting. I haven't really figured out. The only bit I'm not sure of is the collar, how I'm gonna make that shape work, because it's gonna be, if I'm using granny squares to form the basis of the shirt, so it's gonna be like a box basically I'm gonna have here, and I haven't really figured out how I'm gonna take a box and make that into a collar shape, but it's fine. I'll figure that out at the time. I think I'm just gonna have to. But yeah, so that's my crocheted shirt, and that is the only 3 projects that I have worked on over the last month. It's not everything I have to show you. I do have I've got a couple things that I'm wanting to start soon, that I'll maybe talk about in the next video. But before I go, I just want to show you the advent calendar that my friend Gemma sent me. We swap calendars sometimes, advent calendars. This year it ended up being January, but I just wanted to take you through some of the lovely little things that my dear friend Gemma sent me. So this is all of the things that Gemma sent me in my advent calendar. So she sent me these lovely dyed locks down here. I love using locks when I'm spinning yarn. There's so much fun stuff that you can do with locks, and I can't wait to get using these in different projects. I have a couple different spinning projects in mind that I actually think these would be great for, especially these little green ones here, and maybe even some these kind of green and red ones. And actually, to be honest, I think all of them would look quite good. But I'll maybe try spread these out across different projects. Just, I don't want to have all my fun at once, if you know what I mean. I have some combed top here in this lovely navy colour in this kind of turquoise. Again, I have a big spinning project that I've been planning for a while. These are actually kind of the main colours. So these definitely might get blended into this big spinning project that I've got. And then I have these, all of these are hand spun, and I think they're all about around about 5-10 grams, something like that. These I think I'll use in some of my weaving projects, I'll use these as like little treasures, just, you know, little accents to add into a woven piece. I've actually just realised I'm missing one. There's a purple one. This is more of a navy. It's coming up kind of purple on my screen, but there is a more purple one that I'll need to find. But yeah, these will be used in a weaving project, I think, just so that you can really show off the texture of the hand spun. This is also hand spun by Lady Lamb Crafts, and it's these gorgeous colours. Oh, and there's some tissue paper. But yeah, I don't know if, because this isn't, these are, because they're like kind of textured, I definitely want to use them in a weaving project, but because this is quite an even spin, I could use this for anything really. I mean, could use these for anything, but this screams woven, these kind of textured hand spun. Love using that in weaving, but because this is a bit more even spun and it's plied, I could kind of use this for anything. I could even use it in my scrappy blanket, but I don't know, it's hand spun's a bit special. But then have all of these lovely 4-ply minis, and including these little ones here as well. I think they're all about 20 grams. I'm not too sure. Does this say? This is 10 grams. This looks like it might be about 10 grams as well. But these I think I will use in my scrappy blanket. See, because they're not scraps, it does feel a little bit wasteful, but I'm a firm believer that the only way you can waste craft supplies is by not using them. But this one here, this is actually a Crazy Zauber ball. It's one that I've had before, and I'm not 100% sure. I may have sent Gemma some of this in the advent I sent her this year. I definitely sent her some Crazy Zauber ball, but I do have two. So I'm not sure if it's this colour that I sent her or if it was the other colour. But yeah, we've done that before. Me and Gemma have quite similar colour preferences, and apparently buy the same yarn. But yeah, you know, I liked it enough to buy it myself, so I'm more than happy to receive it as a gift from Gemma. Then lastly, she sent me this little thing. So this is, it's a thing. What's it called? It's like a depilling comb. I think that's what you would call it. I call it like the little bobble off thing. So it's this kind of, I don't even know how to describe that texture, but it's grabby. But so that's for taking the pills off of your knitted pieces. The little oosey bobbly things. I've not actually tried it out properly yet. I did, when I first opened it, I was wearing hand knit socks and I used it to get some of the pills off. And it seemed to work quite well, but they weren't particularly pilly socks. Yep, so that's all of the things I've got, and now Juno is... Hey! So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it and maybe even felt inspired by some of the things that I'm making to cast on yourselves. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.